Hello and welcome to Black Cats Chat, the international fans podcast for Sunderland AFC. My name is Thirkell. I'm from the Bilbao Black Cats, and today I'm joined by my fellow Bilbao Black Cats founder, Jonny Cockburn. Jonny's in Bilbao, about 20 kilometers down the road from me. Jonny, good morning, mate. Buenos dias. How are you?
Very well, mate. Well as can be expected after yesterday.
Yeah. Was it a rough one yesterday? Did you have have to sink a couple of pints to get over that?
No, I was just in shock, and then obviously watched the Copa del Rey.
Yeah. I did that as well. Fucking hell. Watched the Sunderland boxing and then Copa del Rey. Anyway, and we've also got joining Jonny this morning. We've got Ian from CM, Ian McNee. He's in Wuppertal in Germany, part of the German Black Cats. Ian, Guten Morgen. How are you, mate?
Morning, League. All right. I'm doing well, man.
Good.
Regardless of results or anything like that, I always look on the sunny side, and we've got the sun cracking the pavement outside at the moment. I'll be in the garden as soon as this bloody thing's finished.
All right. Sorry to keep you.
Oh,
Right.
get on with it.
Well, we'll get on with it then. We'll get on with it. Well, listen, Sunderland fell to their, what was that, well, fourth defeat in a row, wasn't it, yesterday against Oxford? That leaves us still on 76 points for fourth place. We've known for a while that we're going to be in the playoffs. But little by little, Jonny, fans are becoming frustrated, aren't they? Because they're not seeing the standards that we set early in the season. And there's a bit of a divide, isn't there, between the fan base at the minute, isn't it? Because some are saying that we're in the playoffs, that's what matters most. But others are saying that, well, it is true, but the performances and the results are not showing us or not giving us any confidence, that we're going to do anything in the playoffs.
No, not at all. I mean, when I was watching it yesterday, I just sat back going, I don't recognise this team. It was just like everyone was having an off day, and it's just everything that was going right before, it was the opposite. And I was like, is this Sunderland? So I think they're quite right, okay, we're in the playoffs, but we're not playing very well.
Yeah, and we haven't for some time. I mean, we've been banging on for a good while now, haven't we? That the performances haven't been up to the standard as they were earlier in the season. Yesterday, he did pick a strong team, didn't he? He went for the strong team. He promised last week. He came out very defiant and said that we're going to be these last two games, we're not going to mess around. We're going to play a strong team. We're in playoff mode. And when the lineup came up yesterday, there was only really, Leo Hjelde was the only one you would say probably won't start in the playoffs. I mean, if Mundell's fit, he might come in. But when you saw that team, you thought, that's a strong team. He's going to send a strong message, put a good performance in, but it just didn't happen, did it not?
No, well, first of all, I've got to apologise because I didn't see much of the match yesterday. My internet connection was all over the place. I think I saw about 5 minutes to the first half, including their bloody goal, and about 15 minutes to the second half, including their bloody goal. And then I watched the highlights at the end of the game, which lasted about 2 minutes, which really said it all. I mean, I was the glass half full bloke now, and the last few results we've had, I mean, what the hell? We were in fourth place. It was never going to change. It was just a question of who we're going to play in the playoffs. But yesterday, RLB said he was going to put out his strongest side. Okay, possibly he did put out his strongest side that was available, but it's still not, hopefully, side that's going to play the playoffs if everybody's fit. And I was terribly disappointed. I thought, the same as Jonny, I thought, who the hell is this? Who are these 11 imposters in the white shirt, It was, what I saw of it, it was shocking. I couldn't believe it. That was as bad as Coventry, or possibly even worse than Coventry. Because Coventry, you've got to worry about them, Oxford and Nantes. Got down at the bottom of the table for nothing. I mean, I'm going over for the QPR game, and I only hope that we get it together then. I mean, we've got an internal WhatsApp group within the German Black Cats, And one of the lads has just written this morning. We did that WhatsApp group was on fire yesterday with all the shit that was flying about. And one of the lads said this morning, "Okay, we'll probably struggle through the two semi-finals, and in the final we'll hammer whoever we play." I hope the hell he's right.
I hope the hell he's right as well, but it's not looking like that. I mean, you mentioned there that you had some problems, didn't you, watching the match? But listen, in that first half, you didn't have much to worry about because
by all accounts, I didn't miss much.
Oh, and I'm going to tell you why, because I was like following Sunderland's Twitter as well, or Sunderland's X account, and in the whole of the first half, there was only 4 posts.
Yeah.
Right? And the first one, the first one said, "We're off and running at the Kassam Stadium. How are the lads?" The second one said, "Brilliant one-handed save from Pato." The third one said, "Oxford lead." And the fourth one said, "Ricky hits the post." And that was it. And then next one was half time. So that pretty much
hit the post until the highlights at the end of the game. I mean, that's how much I missed of the bloody game.
Yeah. Well, so Jonny, this thing with Le Bris then that he decided to rest some players in 2 of the matches, right? I mean, I say 2 of the matches because the other matches I don't think he rested players. I think it was because of injuries, because of suspensions and whatnot. Has that kind of backfired, do you think? Or
I don't know. I mean, we've talked about it before, haven't we? Where we're saying, what is Plan B? He's holding on. He doesn't really do a lot of substitutions. They have minimal impact when it happens, and it's difficult to see what he's trying to get across to the players, because you kind of see, like yesterday, look at all the possession, but then Oxford every time they had the desire and we couldn't control them, and they made 09 and Memphis look a bit nervous at the back, and it was just, so I don't really know. I don't really know what's coming through. He seems very relaxed, I mean, how do you see it?
I mean, I don't agree with making 7 changes in a league match, because I think when you make that many changes, you just lose the whole cohesion of the team, don't you? I mean, you're just asking for a defeat, and that's what happened against was it against Swansea? I think it was the International Fans Day. We made about 5 changes then, and then the Blackburn game made 7 changes, and we won neither of them. So. I don't really get this resting players thing. I think like when you're kind of struggling for form, you've got to play your best players. It's as simple as that for me.
I don't know. I don't know about that, Lee. I mean, I suppose I still am fully in agreement with what Le Bris done with the team since we qualified for playoffs. Getting minutes into people's legs. Let's do it. Let's rest. I mean, Riggy was in danger of becoming Bellingham of last year. I mean, Bellingham was just running on fresh air last year towards the end of the season. Yeah. Riggy was in danger of doing that as well. So it's good that he managed to get a rest. Bellingham's had a rest. Apparently, he was given man of the match yesterday, but what I saw of him, I didn't see a great lot of what he was doing. I don't know why he got man of the match. But I had no argument whatsoever with resting players, with changing players, making 7 changes yet. So what? We lost the game. So what? It hasn't changed our position. All it's changed. Okay, people talk about momentum. I'd love to know what momentum is. Stick it in a bottle and sell the book, because I'm making fortune. But we've got to get back up to speed, and I hope the hell we do. I thought yesterday would be the start of getting back up to speed. I only hope KPR is a massive improvement of the bits that I saw yesterday, because if not, I mean, up till now I was optimistic, but having been a supporter for over 60 years, the pessimism is starting to raise its ugly head again. I've seen this so often. Okay, not this particular situation, but I've been disappointed by Sunderland so often in the past that it doesn't come as a surprise anymore.
Yeah. Jonny, I mean, Ian mentioned there like Rig being rested for a game or two. I mean, I'm looking at the statistic that Sunderland Echo put out the other day saying what our starting 11 would be if if it depended on how many minutes each player had played this season. And the player that's played the most minutes is obviously Luke O'Nien, of course, 3,755 minutes, which is probably pretty much every match. And then you've
Yeah.
got Dan Neil, 3,728, but he's also played a lot of football. Job, 3,327. And then Chris Rigg is just a little bit below that. He's 2,908. So he has kind of used these core of players. Are these players simply just burning out, you think, at the wrong time of the season? Well, at the wrong time, but for example, naturally they're just burning out because they've been flogged.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's difficult to tell, isn't it? Because the game has changed so much over the years, and the way they're looked after by the club. I mean, maybe they have got some stats and they can run tests and they can say, okay, they need a rest. These don't. You know, depending on how much ground they cover. You know, they've all got the monitors on, and if they're managing the squad like Ian said, then great. Getting them back to like peak performance is very difficult to say, isn't it? You know, are they just, or is there nothing to play for? Like Oxford, they had everything to play for. It was at home, stay up, stay in the league. And what did Sunderland have to play for? You know, just pride. And it kind of just looked like they were going through the motions.
Yeah. Um. No, that's a good point. But I'm gonna put this to you, Ian.
Yeah.
Last week against Blackburn, he made 7 changes, and Blackburn also have something to play for because they can maybe still sneak in the playoffs. Right? We made 7 changes. We actually played better last week against a team that is better than Oxford, with like a team full of reserves, than we did yesterday against Oxford with a full strength team, more or less. So does that also show maybe it's like I don't know, not an overconfidence, but like very over relaxed from certain players that they think that their place is like nailed down. I mean, when you got like lads like Harrison Jones coming in, even Joe Anderson had a good game last week. For them, does it mean more because they're trying to kind of obviously get a move next season or try and get a place in the playoff team? But then you've got like players like yesterday who look like they hadn't played together for yonks. Is it just because they have that sense of security that they know they're going to be playing and they just like switched off?
Well, I think that could be a part of it. I mean, RLB knows what his team's going to be if everybody's fit. I think the whole world knows what his team's going to be if everybody's fit. People like Anderson and Jones that you mentioned there, I thought Jones had a great game. Anderson possibly playing for his future anyway. The question is whether we keep him or whether he goes somewhere else. But putting in a display like he did last week against Blackburn, he didn't do himself any harm.
Yeah.
You know, I thought he did well. But yeah, putting in 7 new players and doing better against Blackburn than we did with our so-called first team against Oxford. It's a difficult one. I mean, as you say, everybody knows, or the majority of the players that played yesterday know that they're going to be in the playoff. You know, they're going to be playing in the playoffs. So why the hell should they tear their arse out? I would like to see a wee bit more effort, a wee bit more cohesion in the play. Hopefully, we'll do that against QPR because I don't think we are capable of throwing a switch and all of a sudden turning it on in the playoffs. We've got to build a bit. Which I'll go back to what I said earlier. I thought that yesterday would be a start of that process. It wasn't. fell off a cliff yesterday. So hopefully against QPR, we will start tearing our asses a bit, trying to get some things going, get some things together. Of course, QPR got beat 5-0 yesterday, so that's not helping us at all because they'll have a certain amount of pride that they'll want to play for. They've got a good record at the Stadium of Light, and there's no reason why they shouldn't go up there and beat us.
Yep.
Where we're playing at the moment.
Well, that's a good point, actually, Ian. I mean, Jonny, Ian mentioned there about like Burnley beating QPR, and obviously, people are saying, well, we were in the playoffs, so we're not going to like flog ourselves. Well, Burnley got promoted. Do you know what I mean? Have they got anything to play for? Maybe the championship? Yeah, well, maybe the title, but
I mean, that's put a hell of a lot of pressure on Leeds now. I mean, Leeds aren't playing until tomorrow against Bristol City.
Yeah.
So Leeds have also got to really go for it. As Burnley's got a much better goal difference.
Mm-hmm.
And that 5-0 yesterday will have helped a little bit as well.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it will. But Jonny, Le Bris's management of these like last games where it was confirmed we were going to be in the playoffs, we just didn't know where we were going to finish. Do you think he's made a mistake the way he's handled it by coming out publicly and saying that, well, we're going to be rotating, we're going to be resting, we're focused on the playoffs? Do you think that was the kind of wrong mentality because it made these kind of like young bunch of lads switch off? Or do you think it's just natural for players to think that because they know they're in the playoffs? Why are they gonna?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because I mean, obviously, as a fan, as supporters, we want to see the team play well and give it their all every game. That's I'd rather get beat, but everyone's giving it their all.
Yeah.
And it's just so. Is, as you're saying, are they all in kind of relax mode? But I don't think so because I think professional footballers, they want to win all the time. You don't go into a game and go, I'm just going to turn up today. So
if you do that for Sunderland, Rodwell was a prime example.
Oh, well. Yeah, he was an extreme example. Well, so I don't know, mate. Like, as you say, the danger is you're nervous and you're saying, if this is okay, everyone's rested, everyone's got minutes, he knows what we're going to do. And are we able to just flick the switch and they put the turbo boost on? I think, they need that continuity on the pitch. If they're playing well, it breeds confidence. I don't know.
Yeah. No, Ian, I'm hoping that we've got some kind of Dr. Evil hidden master plan that Regis is making us look shit on purpose.
Yeah.
And then we're going to completely blow teams away in the playoffs. But, I mean, like I said, I'm clinging to that hope, mate. I'm really clinging by a fine thread.
Well, there's one thing for certain. If Bristol City or Coventry or even Blackburn Rovers or whoever may be playing us at the playoffs sent their scouts to Oxford yesterday and not have a fucking clue what we are going to do. That's I'll tell you what, RLB is a tactical genius in that sense because he's just flummoxed everybody,
Well, I think he confused everyone. He says like we have a good connection. The players have a good connection. What's that mean? Internet or what? I mean,
better than mine anyway.
So like Jonny, I mean, we lost the match comfortably. We didn't look like scoring. I mean, listen, we didn't have a shot on target yesterday, right? And I've got some stats from the last 9 games that we've played. In total, we've had 16 shots on target from 9 games. We've scored 4 goals and we've conceded 11, 2 wins, 1 draw, and 6 defeats. Now, you can kind of try and find the positives of like we're resting players, we're in the playoffs, but like that is not a good sign, is it not?
No. I mean, the thing was, it's still fresh in my mind, suffering in League One. So you kind of like, I'd rather be where we are now than where we were. So I take huge positives, but it's kind of like, as you say, the hope is the last thing to go, isn't it? Every week we're like, right, put it on. This is the game. This is the game. Put in a performance. No, the best thing for me, as you know, Lee, my mate is one of the main sponsors of Oxford, Planet IT. The best thing was watching his advertisement throughout the game. I'm so happy for him.
Oh, it comes to summit when you say that about the
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you're talking about the best thing about the game. I think the best thing about the game for me yesterday was we're watching like a 5-minute video that me kids had made on the tablet playing with the toys. And the thing is, right, at the start of the video, they said, "This is like our channel. Please subscribe." And I was thinking, I want to subscribe, but they haven't even got a channel. I'll tell you what, but it was like 5 minutes for just entertainment. So, but yeah, Ian, in terms of Le Bris's tactics, I mean, I've tried to analyze this a lot. I've had like discussions with people on fans forums and social media. I think our style has changed. People say it hasn't. It's just that we've been found out. For me, I really don't understand the midfield three, right? Playing a midfield three of Joe, Brigg, and Neil most of the time. You've got three players there who are technically very talented on the ball. They like to be on the ball. They like to have lots of touches, right? But our tactics is basically play a low block, right? And then hit teams on the counter. So basically, we're bypassing the three midfielders. We're telling the players, like, okay, sit in a defensive shape, and as soon as we get the ball, lump it forward, or not lump it forward, but go forward fast.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it just doesn't get the best out of those three players because if they like to have touches, we're telling them don't have touches, like don't have too many touches. But in the end, because our attacking play is so slow, we allow teams to get into position, into a defensive shape very quickly, and then obviously we don't have any kind of attacking threat. So would you I mean, I don't think he's going to change the midfield three now, formation. I think he's going to probably stick with that formation. But do you think we need to look at something different? Maybe, I mean, Riggs probably going to get dropped, isn't he, for Le Fay when Munlo comes back. But are there any other players in there that, for example, could be in danger of losing their place?
Patrick Roberts.
Yep.
He's what's the saying? He deceives, he
Plans to deceive.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was looking for, yeah.
How do you say that in German?
Oh, I have no idea. You know what it's in English. A blended.
Yeah.
A blended. That's German for it. But Patrick Roberts moved a bit, but what I saw of him yesterday, he was trying to go past players and it just wasn't happening. But that's been his story throughout the season. I'm not bothered about his lack of goals. He's laid on a few goals earlier on in the season, but that stopped as well. And I think for me, he could be sacrificed, but I think Le Bris sees something in him and insists on playing him all the time. It's not my decision, thank God. I'm not the trainer. What I can't understand yesterday, he's been talking about Le Fay coming back and getting him back to full strength, but getting 90 minutes in his legs. And he sticks him up on the bloody left wing. I mean, what the fuck is the best centre? Supposedly, is the best central midfield player that we've got, and he plays him on the left wing. I mean, do me a favour. Okay, nobody wants Tommy Watson to play, but as I say, the next two games are irrelevant. Put Watson on the left wing. Let Le Bris play in the middle. And if one of Bellingham, Job, or Rigg has to be sacrificed for that, then so be it. you can quite easily put Rig out on the right wing if you want to, sacrificing Roberts for that, and then you've got Le Bris in the middle. I don't understand why he's never done that yet. Occasionally, Le Bris has turned up in the middle, but he's never played a full game.
Mm.
How is he going to perform in the playoffs if he doesn't even know how to play in the middle? You know.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand his tactic on that one yesterday. And going on towards goals, Mundell makes his own goals. He picks the ball up 20 yards from his own goal and he just pulls off. You know, puts the ball away. Was that Bristol City? I think he did that. Isidore is a different player, and he got absolutely no service that I saw yesterday.
No.
And that's been the case for a long time. I mean, you've got Roberts on the wing. What does the winger do? He bombs down the wing and he hides the ball in. Roberts doesn't do that. So how the hell is Isidore going to score goals if he doesn't get the ball?
Yeah. That's a good point. But Jonny, on our kind of formation and shape, we obviously play with these wingers who are playing on unnaturally, unnaturally, like not their strongest foot. So they're always coming inside. And what I've been saying for time and time now is that the opposition teams know that they're going to go inside, and they have like basically a triangle of three players. They have like the fullback who's marking the winger, but then they have like two players ready to pounce on the inside. Yeah. So it's basically we're not going forward, we're going sideways or backwards. So does that need to kind of like change? I mean, do we need to shake it up a little bit and, you know, instead of like putting what's the expression, square pegs in round holes, just like put Roberts on the left, Mundell, Tommy Watson on the right, or
Yeah. No, I agree with Ian's comment before about Le Fay. You know, you were like, why is he there? You know, he wasn't really involved as much as he should be. And then we've not got the people running down the wings, as you say. You know, Roberts he'll get the ball and then he'll come inside, then he'll go backwards, passes it, and we're not getting that service down the front. And there was no real balls going through, you know, for Isidore to feed off. So I guess it is. I guess what are they doing? Everyone knows what we're doing, so let's just play and try and nick a goal, or let's have another game plan, mix it up. Why not? Mm-hmm. You know, I think so. I think they need to do something.
Yeah.
What the wing over? I mean, there was talk of this earlier on in the season, getting Roberts and it was last season, getting Roberts and Clark to change wings occasionally.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and then you've got a left winger playing on the left wing and a right winger playing on the right wing.
Yeah.
Who came up with that idea?
Yeah. Well, it happened early in the season, I think, as well, when we played at home. I think Le Bris switched Mundell and Roberts for a game, or during a game. I don't think he was keen. And if you look at yesterday, he also did the same thing. I think Roberts played on the left a little bit in the second half.
And Watson turned up on the right hand side.
Yeah. So I think we need to kind of like look at that and try and think of a different way of playing. But anyway, Ian, after the match, there was a bit of a scene, wasn't it, in the away end with the fans? I don't know if you've seen it on a fracas, yeah. So yeah, there's a bit of a fracas or a scene in the away end. Apparently, like the players went over to the away fans and clapped them. One of the lads or one of the fans gave Chris Rigg some abuse, and then I believe that this fan and another fan started arguing. From what I've read on Facebook, one of them got pushed over the barrier. He got up and then he smacked the one in the face. It was like pantomime punching duty. Like the players, listen, they didn't hide, so it was good that they went over there. But I think this frustration is I don't know, it's normal, I think, because if you're going to pay that much money to travel around the country to follow the lads, and I think you might have seen yesterday on Sunderland's social media that we have sold out 21 out of 23 away grounds this season, 63,000 tickets over 10,000 miles travelled. You'd expect a better performance, and you can understand that fans who have like had a couple of pints before the match, they're going.
No.
I'm being polite there, but they've had a couple of pints before the match. They want to see better, right? And I think that you can kind of understand their frustrations.
Yeah, it's absolute dissatisfaction with what they're seeing on the pitch. I mean, we put up with it, or I would say the fans have put up with it the last few games because they knew what was coming. Le said, I'm going to put reserves out, I'm going to put players that are coming back from injury in to get minutes into the legs. But yesterday, or not yesterday, but during the week, he said, Oxford's when it starts. And I think what happened yesterday is that everybody was expecting us to turn it up a couple of notches. We didn't. And that's what brought about all the clatter. And obviously, somebody, maybe he's alcohol induced or whatever, let his frustration out, had a go at whoever the nearest player was. I don't think he particularly picked out Rig, but Rig was one of the first ones that was there. You know, I can understand it. I mean, I've been there. Then again, I've been on the other side. I remember going to Aston Villa in, oh God, back in the 70s. And we were getting hammered 4-0. In the 85th minute, we got our first corner. Alan Brown was playing at the time. That's how far back that is. I'm not talking about the manager. I'm talking about the not the Alan Brown that's playing for us now. And we started singing because we'd won a corner. It was the nearest we ever got to their bloody goal, and that it was a shocking day. I got attacked by a police horse again as well, but that's the difference.
Again, as well.
It wasn't in Newcastle. The police horse snuck up on us from behind. Anyway, we started singing at 85 minutes, and we just never stopped. You'd think we were leading at 4-0 in it. You know, when they do, when it used to be grandstand, they used to go around the grounds after the final whistle, and we were still singing 10 minutes after the game. And the commentator said, have a look at these fans. These are Sunderland fans. Their team has just been hammered 4-0 by Aston Villa. You'd think they'd won 4-0. It just shows how daft we are. You know, this daftness of taking the piss out of ourselves and also turn and show our feelings for the club. You know, I mean, we are passionate. I've never met a set of fans who are more passionate than me. Possibly Newcastle supporters would argue with that, but I don't have anything to do with them, boys.
Of course not. Yeah. Right. So, Jonny, we'll move on to the post-match comments then. Le Bris spoke, Dan Neil spoke, Chris Mepham spoke. So here's Le Bris's comments. It's a disappointing result, game and performance. We didn't match their energy. They played a style that is different that is difficult to manage and probably not our main strength this season. There were a lot of set plays, throw-ins, direct play. When we escaped the pressure, we didn't find the solutions. We only created one chance. In the end, they deserved their win. It's a good reminder for the future for us. We are not happy with the result and the dynamic of the team. The way we are playing, the players care about this project, and so they want to have their say after. At the end, we have to find the solutions. I expected more from us. And then he goes on to say that he's disappointed and surprised, but we have to manage the situation. But he's not too worried because he knows where we've come from. This was the 45th game. It's really important to say that we did very well for 38-39 games. Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah. I think a bit before then. The last bit has been more difficult. The opponent today had the right level of energy. They played for their life, and that wasn't the case with us. But then he says, I don't think I am revealing anything to our future opponents if I say we are not the strongest from set pieces. Well, physical play. We have other qualities. Yeah. We have other qualities, and today the level of intensity for our duels wasn't enough. That is clear. It was also difficult for us to show our best for many reasons. I don't want to make excuses. The energy wasn't enough, and we were punished. That's it. So, I mean, well, I think he's shooting himself in the foot there because I think the energy wasn't enough because of the way we've treated these last 4 or 5 games. So, Johnny, what do you make of Regis's comments there?
Well, there's a lot of words just to really say
We
we
would,
had a really bad day at the office.
yeah.
We didn't turn up. Um, but the thing is, we know we have solutions. Well, what are they? You know, I suppose it's like, are you only as good as your last result? I don't know. But what are they going to do? It was obvious that about the level of the energy. It, I'm surprised he's saying, you know, we're not the strongest from set pieces. So what? So what's your plan? But if you saw the free kick, Lee, did you see it?
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, what do you mean we're not the strongest? You basically left a big gaping hole. Shoot this way, please.
I,
Saved, and then no one followed track the defender.
yeah.
That was just that we're not the strongest. No, that was like just really bad. It was just schoolboy error. So I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
I
I
would
mean,
just
no, I mean the thing is, he says we're not the best at defending set pieces, but I mean, they bombarded us with long throw-ins yesterday, and I thought we kind of dealt with it all right. It was just that one free kick that, so I don't think you can blame the set pieces really. I think it was just like, yeah, they're going to get one eventually, aren't they? One chance. Um. Anyway, Ian, I'm going to give you Chris Mepham. He was talking and he said, "We're extremely disappointed, as you can imagine. The standards we've set ourselves are really high, and today is really disappointing for the standards that we've set. We've got some massive games coming up now. We're not happy with the run we've been on, but it's an opportunity to reflect, and that's the most important thing. It's going to be a massive couple of weeks at the football club. The more positivity we can generate across the dressing room, the fans, and the whole football club, that will put us in a really good position going forward." Now, I think it's interesting that he says the more positivity we can just generate across the dressing room. Does that suggest to you, Ian, that things are a bit tense between the players?
I don't know. I mean, but football is what it is. You're going to have arguments between footballers every time, all the time. I mean, as I say, I played at a very low level of local football, and it nearly came to blows. You know, because somebody played a bloody awful pass or didn't put somebody in when they were free on goal, stuff like that. You know, but I think generally the team what they present publicly anywhere are together. It's not as if you've got somebody sulking in the corner because Wilson Isidore really has a perfect right to bollock everybody because he's just not getting any service whatsoever. On the other side, you could say, well, when you do get the ball, you don't do anything with it. You know, so there's always going to be discussions, arguments, whatever you call it.
Hmm.
But I mean, both statements, the one from RLB and the one from Miffin, thank God they didn't try to dress it up. They accepted that we were fucking shit yesterday.
yeah.
You know, I mean, the fans aren't blind and they're not daft. No, we were bloody awful. And at least they've accepted they were bloody awful. Interestingly, what you didn't read out was the lads head to Portugal for a warm weather training camp before switching their attentions to the QPR game. The buggers are on the beach already. They've been on the beach for the last 6 games because they know there's no to play for. I just hope they come back refreshed and ready for the QPR game because I'm going to be there and I'm going to be terribly disappointed if they fuck that one up as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know, because I didn't mention that because I was going to mention it as my next point. Cheers, Ian. Um,
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry to rob you of that one there.
no, but I can still get me little pun in, which is basically, yeah, they're going to go to Portugal for 4 days of warm weather training. But here's the funny thing: it's going to be 24 degrees in the northeast next week, so I don't know what they're going there for. I don't know what they're going to Portugal for.
I got to
So
rope the beach. It'd be
I
better
know.
off and
Yeah.
cheaper.
So yeah, and but anyway, Mepham also made an interesting comment on the video that isn't written there, which he said that it's no use pointing fingers at each other. So again, that's like another kind of comment that makes me think that there are some kind of well, not blows, but like some tension in the dressing room. Uh, Johnny, last one is Dan Neil. Um, he was saying things were said in the dressing room, and I think that's good. Um, we don't have long left to the playoffs. So everyone laid it out on the line in there, and I think that's a good thing. I'm not worried about the next few weeks in the slightest. Glad he's not. We haven't become a bad team overnight. We haven't comfortably finished fourth and been disappointed about not giving the top two a longer run. We know we can beat anyone in this league on our day. We've turned up in the big games, and I have no doubt that this squad will turn up for the biggest games of the season and our career so far. We have to stick together. Everyone associated with the club will be ready. And then he goes on to say, you've seen how much it meant to Oxford today. As a team, we've got to look at how they've reacted to this game. Winning it, achieving their ambitions. Ours is to get promoted, and we still have a massive chance to do it. They've turned up in their biggest game of the season, and we have to take motivation from that because ours is coming in 2 weeks. Right, so Johnny, I'm a bit flabbergasted by his comments there because we've got to look at how they reacted to winning this game. Why do we have to look at Oxford?
Yeah, no, I was looking at that as well. I was saying, well, it's a totally different situation. So you're like, what, to try and there you go, lads. That's what energy and motivation look like. Drink it up. That's what we need. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm like that with you. I'm like, I don't understand it. I'm glad that they've had it, that they took out, but that's what all professional football teams should do. Get it out. No, don't leave any grudges. Let's
I
talk
don't
it
chew on
through.
it. Yeah.
But well, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's crackers.
and then talking about the end of the final whistle, the frustration, the way, and he says there's always going to be frustration. It's all natural. We understand that the fans are frustrated about the last few weeks. We've got the biggest games of the season coming up very soon, and we need everyone to be behind each other. We've just mentioned in the dressing room there about how the fans have travelled everywhere with us this season, been through it with us all. We know they'll be with us for one last push. Then we're going to do everything we possibly can in the playoffs. I just want to go back to one point, Ian, where he
Yeah.
says, we know we can beat anyone in this league on our day. We've turned up in the big games, and I have no doubt that this squad will turn up for the biggest games of the season. For me, like, we'll turn up. I mean, you expect it to turn up. You know what I mean? It's just like you can't. Is he
Yeah.
kind of saying there that we only turn up for the big games?
Well, the season so far, taking away the last maybe 10 games, we had to turn up to get to the position where we are now. I think there's been a certain amount of switching off, possibly unconsciously, because it didn't really matter anymore. And certainly the last 6 games, we were fourth and we were going to stay fourth and we weren't going to be caught. So whether you accept that as a player or not, you can't change it. You're not going to read. I mean, the perfect example was Tommy Watson down at where was it? Bristol City,
Yeah.
where he didn't strike a bat. Would
Hmm.
never have turned out in a Sunderland strip again. He was gone. Okay, it looks like he's had a kick up the arse either from the trainer or from the team or both. Because his display against Blackburn was better, and what I saw of him yesterday, I thought he played well, not up to his usual standard, but anyway better than just somebody who was stuck out on the wing of Bristol City and didn't bother doing anything. Um, Turning up for the big games. If we don't go for it in the playoffs, we won't turn it off. We really do. We've got to go for it in the playoffs. I think even against QPR, there'll be a certain amount of okay, it'd be nice, but I know I can do this. We've done it against the likes of Leeds and Sheffield United and Burnley, who were bloody good teams, no doubt about it. But then again, you think, well, what would we do away at Plymouth? What would we do away at Coventry? What would we do yesterday away at Oxford? Not big teams. Okay, Coventry, you can possibly argue about that. I don't know. I mean, we're Sunderland. That's all I can say, you know?
Yeah. We never do things easy. We're doing that.
Yeah.
Jonny, then. So basically, you can sugarcoat it any way you want, but it's 4 defeats in a row, 1 goal in 5, 6 conceded, or if you want to look further than that, 2 wins in 9. Is Le Bris's job on the line if this run of form continues in the playoffs?
I wouldn't say so. I think there's a bigger plan. Just in one season, you do really well, and then you have this like drop in form, and right, get rid of the manager. Do you really, it's just think about the instability we had, with all the other managers. I don't see that. I wouldn't say. I think, it's a master plan, the playoff master plan. He's fooling us all.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I would hope they don't. There's no talk of that. I understand what they're saying. The manager carries the can and all of this, but I don't see it, and I hope they don't.
Mm-hmm. Ian?
Yeah.
Le Bris?
Well, I don't think, Reg. I hope, even if we fail in the playoffs, that Regis Le Bris is there next year. Okay, he's not perfect. I mean, we saw that earlier on the season when we were storming the league. He refused to make a substitution before the 85th minute. And then he got into his phase of not changing the team, so the players were starting to tire. I say he's not perfect, but he's better than, as far as I can see, anything else on there. I mean, I've just had a quick look at our WhatsApp group, the German Black Cats, and they're talking there about whether Le Bris should go. And one of the lads said, well, let's get Grant Ledbetter in. Jermaine Defoe. Nah. And then one of the lads said as a joke, well, no, we'll go for Tim Walter.
Yeah,
The
the guy from Hull.
Yeah,
well, he was in that case, wasn't he? Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, Regis Le Bris wasn't an alternative when he came in. We didn't know who the hell he was.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think we could be so stupid as to sack him, even if we don't get there in the playoffs. We've done well.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. We've done well this season. The season hasn't ended the way we wanted it. It would have been great to storm up to the top of the table and go up with 106 points, having scored 90-odd goals, like in 99, but it doesn't work like that these days. Be grateful for what we've got, hope for the best, and if it doesn't happen, well, we'll do it next year.
Yeah.
What did Niall Quinn,
Yeah.
Get your heads up, lads. We'll walk this league next year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's another question is like, will we have a team of talented players next year? Because
we might not have a team, but we'll have an awful lot of money.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. No, the reason I brought it up is because obviously on social media and in the fans forum, it's come up that some people would replace Le Bris at the end of the season, regardless of going up or right. And I just want to point you back to obviously going back to Tony Mowbray. Tony Mowbray got sacked when we were 7th, 8th position, and if you go back before that, Lee Johnson in League One. I mean, we were top, weren't we? And then obviously lost against Bolton 5-0, and we felt a second or third. And so like these owners, sporting directors, they're not afraid to wield the axe if they think it's necessary. So I don't know, Jonny, are we just living now in a world where it's results based, it's performance based, and if you're not cutting it,
I suppose there's that argument, isn't it? Because of the money and part of the plan, as you say, this is part of the 5-year plan. But with it not those managers because they didn't suit the internal plan more than the results? Was it not because it just they didn't fit the sporting director, the board?
I would say that was the case with Mowbray, but with Lee Johnson, I think it was just because of that Bolton result, wasn't it? Well, they said it was because of a drop of
standards,
level of performance. I think, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
I honestly, I don't know. I mean, nowadays, people, you see people I've seen throughout the years. Oh, I'd like him to stay, then get sacked. Finally, we've got so good one. Oh, he doesn't last.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Well, Ian, I'm going to leave this with you for the last thing. So my mate Paul lives in Barcelona. He went to the National Fans Day. They had a Q&A with Christian Speakman, and Christian Speakman had like a flip chart or a flip board, whatever you call them, and he had three words written on there, and they were bold, industrious, and creative. And recently, I think those are the total opposite of our play, aren't they? Really.
Who was he talking about? Himself?
No, that was the sandwiches.
All right, okay, yeah, well, get behind that, yes, I. No, I've never been a great fan of flip charts. I mean, do me a bloody favour. I mean, that's going back to yuppie years. Oh, sod off. I mean, I've spoken to Christian Speak, and he seems a canny lad, but I mean, okay, he's got his program, he knows what he wants to do. Alex Neil didn't fit as far as he was concerned. Tony Mowbray, I was sad to see go. I mean, he came with a record of bringing on young players, which is what we wanted, but he also came with a record of not being able to get promoted, which it looked as though we were going that way, which is why they let him go. It's a smashing bloke, great bloke to talk to. But okay, Regis Le Bris. I honestly don't see why we should sack him. The best thing I read this week was the fact that Daniel Farker might be sacked. He's just got Leeds bloody promoted, for Christ's sake. What the fuck is going on? And this is a sign of the way that modern football is going. Daniel Farker has played a total of 49 games in the Premier Division with Norwich for 1-6. Well, that's why the Leeds board or directors or owner or whoever don't trust him to keep Leeds up, so they're going to look for somebody else. I mean, fucking hell, what? Nah, you don't sack a successful manager, as far as I'm concerned. And Reggie has been fairly successful at Sunderland. He's not been very successful, but he's been a hell of a lot more successful than Michael Beale.
Yeah,
Think back to what we had.
Yeah. No, that was a mistake, wasn't it? Jonny, so I know you like an acronym from working with you. Half the time I don't even understand what they mean. I have to Google them. So anyway, Christian Speakman's come up with this BIC, BIC, bold, industrious, and creative. What do you think he's thinking when he sees those results? And we're not doing those things. We're not being bold. We're not being industrious. We're not being creative. The fans are getting frustrated. Do you think it'll be easy for him to kind of like get away from that, like turn the volume down and just like remain focused and get behind Le Bris? Or do you think it's in the back of his mind that, well, listen, these are the three things that I want us to be, and for a couple of months now we haven't been like that, and so do you think that, because obviously I think he's the one as well, along with Louis Dreyfus, they're going to be making a decision together about what to do. So if we're not fulfilling or living up to those three key adjectives, then what is he thinking?
Well, the thing is, I do like, and the values and the vision, the values, and you're trying to get everyone on the same page, working together. But I mean, it's very, very, they're there, but you shouldn't be ramming them down the throats, because you can say, okay, were we bold yesterday? Were we industrious? Were we creative? Is that something, is he going to redefine the play to be that creative, to be bold? I think all Sunderland people want, like, let's just get stuck in, get stuck in. Don't shy away, work hard, and they have to be creative, because otherwise you can't create something you don't score. So it's like, you've got those values. I agree with that, and because we'll always work like that way. But it's getting the players in who suit the style. Very difficult though to sign up to the BIC.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Right. Well, Ian, we're going to wrap it up. But...
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah. Ian, we're going to wrap it up, but
Bye.
before we go, is it important to go into that playoff first leg away from home with a win? So we got QPR last game of the season. At home. Do we need to win that in order to get some momentum to go into that away leg?
In an ideal world, yes. And I hope to God we win because, as I've said a few times, I'm there. And I'm sick of bloody... I mean, the last time I was there, we played Hull and lost our first game of this home game of this season. I mean, do me a favour, Sunderland, win a bloody game when I'm in the stadium, please.
Jonny, thoughts? Do we need a win to kind of calm things down a little bit?
Well, absolutely. Last home game of the season, I think it's always important. I think I heard something on TalkSport the other day about that, and that Bobby Robson was like, look, lads, put away your flip-flops, put away your beach towel, give the fans something. Yeah, last game, home game of the season, give the home fans, and we need that. We need that morale boost.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed the lads turn up. The warm weather training in Portugal goes well, and they come back and get a result, because if not, we could be going to that first away leg under a lot of pressure. And if we concede a couple of goals there, it could be difficult to turn back, because apparently we've only won by more than one goal 6 times this season, and 3 of those came in August. So yeah, Jonny, we were at one of those, weren't we? We were at the Sheffield Wednesday again. So
yeah.
Anyway, right, lads. Thanks for coming on this morning. Ian, go and enjoy your sunshine in the garden, mate. All right. All right. Make sure you put some sun cream on.
There's plenty of shade there I can hide under while I'm pruning the rose bushes.
Good man. And Jonny, you going to any mountains today? You got any plans?
No, it's raining, isn't it? So just get ready for tomorrow. Chill out.
Back to work tomorrow, aren't we? Back to work after 2 weeks. Who'd be a teacher, huh? Thanks for coming on, and I'll see you again soon. How are the lads?
How are the lads? How are the lads?